So here we have another video today, and essentially what I'm going to do in this video is play a couple of these games and see how it runs on the Steam Deck here in 2024. Now, it's not really going to be much of a comparison, it's kind of just going to be a demonstration on how a couple of these games run. For example, BeamNG, probably Jurassic World Evolution 2, The Last of Us, and maybe Wreckfest. Just a couple examples. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be at least probably 2 of those games. So with that being said, let's get into the first game and see how it runs. Alright, so after quite literally 5 minutes of loading, here we are in The Last of Us Part 1. Now, you may notice right off the bat, it doesn't look very good at all. It looks quite bad. So with that being said, let's go over to settings here. We go down to display. As you can see, the render resolution is a bit low at 856 by 480. So we're rendering at 480p. That's because we're using FSR 3.0 set to quality just to give it the best chance possible. And well, I don't know how much it's helping considering the frame rate is still absolutely abysmal. We go down to graphics. As you can see, everything is quite literally set to low. I don't know why I can't change that, but whatever. Everything is set to low, very low, off. I mean, I really can't go any lower than what it is. This is pretty much the absolute lowest settings. Now,
okay.
It's far from here,
I remember it running slightly better and looking slightly better, but maybe that's because when I played it last, it was on the actual Steam Deck, not through a capture card and onto a 24-inch monitor. So that might have something to do with it.
Quarantine zone.
But obviously, different areas will give you different performance. So this will definitely vary if you want to play this game on a Steam Deck. Now, if you want to play this on the Steam Deck, well,
that ain't the hard part.
Good luck with that. Now, I gotta give credit where credit's due. The Steam Deck, like the SoC, I believe, is a 15-watt chip. So 15 watts is playing this game okay. I mean, that's... You weren't doing this 5-10 years ago on 15 watts, so gotta give credit where credit's due. Does it run? Yes. Does it look good? No. Well, I guess for a Steam Deck it's pretty good. But compared to my computer or PlayStation, it definitely does not look good. And that frame rate, wow, 23. I think we've seen enough of The Last of Us. Let's let's move on to the next game. Alright, so I don't know what's going on here, but as you can see, the frame rate is at 15 frames a second. This is Jurassic World Evolution 2. I don't know why. As soon as I unplug it from the capture card, well, as soon as I unplug it from HDMI, I should say, it just goes right up to 60 frames a second. But as soon as I plug it back in, and ta-da! It's back to 15 frames. Look at that. Don't know what's going on. You're gonna have to take my word on it being 60 frames a second. I don't know why it's stuck at 15 and The Last of Us wasn't. I don't know what's going on with that, but as you saw, the game still kind of looks like doo-doo. So let's go through the settings, and yeah. Display, we are running 720p. The graphics, we're running the Steam Deck preset, which is a mixture of high, couple high, mostly medium. Let's see. Maybe you know what? Let's turn off VSync. Hold on. VSync. Off. Did not help. Okay. Okay. Resolution change? No. Oh, I gotta click apply. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay, it's not 60 frames like it was when I unplug it from the capture. As soon as I unplug it, now it's at 48 frames a second. I don't know what the hell is going on with this game. As you saw, Steam Deck preset. Okay, now we're getting... Okay. We're getting 18 FPS lower when capturing. I don't know why. Whatever. The quality looks about the same. It's just because it's on a bigger screen compared to a Steam Deck. This is running 720p. Medium settings, as you can see, the GPU is just fighting for its life up there at 100% utilization. CPU is doing literally nothing at 25%. Again, for a 15 watt chip, not gonna lie, it's fairly impressive. Is it playable? Most definitely. I've played this game a lot on my Steam Deck actually, and I have fun on it. I like my Steam Deck. So yeah, it can run Jurassic World Evolution 2 perfectly fine. Now, if you want to capture your gameplay, for some reason it's going to chop 18 FPS off. It didn't do that for The Last of Us. It chopped like 1 to 2 frames off, because I remember it hovering around 30 more than around 28, 26 it kind of was before. So it lost a couple frames, but nothing like this. I don't know why this game lost so much FPS by using a capture device, but anyways, move on to the next game. Alright, so here we have a game called Combat Master. It's basically a Call of Duty ripoff. It has a kind of Warzone ripoff slash Battle Royale and a multiplayer ripoff, which is what we have here. Now, the thing with this is it's a super easy to run game. As you can see, is running perfectly fine. This is at 800p with everything on high / ultra. I'll show you the settings in a second. Alright. Options, graphics, ultra, high, on, everything is maxed out. Resolution cannot go any higher than 800p. Don't know why, but whatever. There is a Battle Royale mode to this. I would try that, but I just tried to get into one of those games, and I was in the queue for probably 2 minutes, and it didn't find a single player. So obviously the Battle Royale part of this game is dead, which, whatever. The multiplayer is still very much alive. It's very much giving me Modern Warfare 19 vibes in terms of like UI, gun mechanics, kind of in a way, the way they looked. So yeah, I mean, this game is perfectly playable. I mean, GPU's barely even doing anything, CPU's barely even doing anything. Lock 60, not a single drop frame. So, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I just figured it, you know, change it up a bit, a little easier to run game, and you know, Jurassic World and everything else. So, that being said, runs perfectly fine.
Too easy.
And I'm gonna try one more game because I'm running out of time here, and I still have to edit the video and do some other stuff. So, one more game, that's gonna be BeamNG Drive. So, with that being said, let's move on, shall we? Okay, so as BeamNG Drive is doing its first time rendering deal, I want to talk about BeamNG Drive for a second. Now, the thing with BeamNG Drive is every map is different in terms of performance. So, in the Steam Deck's case, West Coast USA doesn't work sometimes because the Steam Deck only has 16 gigs of RAM. 16 gigs of RAM being the minimum for this game. Wow, never thought I'd say that. 16 gigs as the minimum. But that's kind of how games are moving these days. Need more and more RAM. But whatever. This map, I believe, is called, yeah, Industrial Site. This is Industrial Site. As you can see, it's not looking the best because the resolution is, again, I believe it's 720p to, you know, be native with the Steam Deck. Again, I mean, it's not really much I can do about that. It's kind of just how the Steam Deck is. Most games don't let you change it above the Steam Deck's screen resolution, even though the game is not even on the Steam Deck screen. It's currently on a 24-inch 1080p monitor going through a 1080p capture card, but it doesn't allow me to set it to 1080p. I don't know. So as you can see here, the game is running pretty much perfectly fine at almost 60 frames a second, with everything being on normal to low. For the most part, being more on the low side, but it's fine. Got all these extras off, got all this off, and then you go to display. Let's see, bet you it's 720p. Steam Deck support is still experimental. That is one thing definitely to keep in mind, is it's kind of iffy, the Steam Deck support. Okay, is there just no, there's just no resolution. Alright, well, to me it looks like maybe 720p. But I figured out why the VSync was giving issues on Jurassic World. Turns out it wasn't VSync, it was FSR. FSR apparently does not play well when the Steam Deck is in docked mode. Don't know why. Turned off FSR, and now it works. So either way, it worked with The Last of Us, so I'm not going to bother retrying that. I don't know why it worked with The Last of Us, but not any other game. Whatever. But as you can see, BeamNG Drive does not need any FSR. It runs perfectly fine on the Steam Deck. Now, if you start using AI vehicles and bigger vehicles, then you're going to have issues, because 16 gigs of RAM, that's going to be gone real quick when you start adding a lot of vehicles. So, again, just another example of how far these SoCs and chips have come in the last few years. 15 watts would get you nowhere near the level of performance and graphics you can get on a Steam Deck. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a like. Most importantly, subscribe, like, and basically all I have to say. Be sure to stick around and whatnot, because I'm going to have more videos like this coming in the future. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video.